Hey guys, happy Friday, it's Jem here, answering some questions. This is a good one. Agile Centre of Excellence. How would you set one up, Jem? Currently in a situation where I'm seeing it not done very well and wanted to get some ideas on what to propose to the group. Agile Centre of Excellence, how would I set one up? The short answer is I wouldn't. But that's not really useful because it sounds like there already is an Agile Centre of Excellence and you're saying it's not being done very well. Before we start assuming and unpacking what that could mean, I think we should talk about an Agile Centre of Excellence usually tries to do. Let's start from the top. Agile Centre of Excellence, what is it? It's a group of people, often Agile coaches, and it's where they make decisions on how to do Agile across an organization, and they often report into a head of Agile. I've been part of two groups in my career that have been known as Agile Centers of Excellence, but maybe the title or the role has been articulated in a different way. Now, often what an Agile Center of Excellence tries to do is talk about the best practices, the standardized way of doing things, and wants to roll it out across the organization to make things more uniformed, more standardized, and there is an aspiration to create alignment. Now, some of these things make sense for what the Agile thing is. Some of these things are antithetical to the Agile ideas. How, you may ask, and this is in a number of different ways. So, for example, I've seen a situation whereby a group of coaches have imposed a standardized definition of done across multiple teams, and they may not even be contributing to the same product. How else? Well, it's also because the dynamic of the coaches being more loyal to the reporting group as opposed to being focused on supporting the team. That in itself creates this kind of command and control dynamic. To give you an example of when we talk about standardizing everything across an organization doing Agile, it's things like saying we can only use one type of framework. Everybody's got to do Scrum or everybody's got to do Kanban. Things like all sprint lengths need to be synchronized. What? Even though we're working on different products or services? Yes, we do. Why? Because we need to control the situation. No component teams allowed. All teams need to be feature teams. Yes, but we don't deliver on a product, we deliver a service. No. Component teams are a bad thing. So it's this kind of broad brush way of getting everybody to work in one unified way because it gives perhaps the head of Agile or the stakeholders or both a sense of control. This idea that we're all doing things the same way and it can be understood, everybody's using velocity and we can normalize story points. That gives us a feeling of more control, more efficiency, and more order, which are attractive, but there are many fallacies in these ideas. So remembering the question at the start was, how would I set up an Agile Center of Excellence? And they spoke about it not working very well. So we've made some assumptions. Now there's two ways to answer this question. The first part is to talk about what is the alternative to an Agile Center of Excellence. And most importantly, you may know the alternative, but you may not have the reach or the influence to speak with the person who set it up to make the change. So that's going to be another video in itself, having that coaching conversation with the executive, the head of Agile, if you have got the ability to, make contacts, because often many of us don't. For this clip though, I'm talking about a situation where you are already in the Agile Center of Excellence and what can you do about it? Showing openness and vulnerability with the team to explain what your job is and talking about the uniformity, the standardization, and again, being vulnerable about where you see the shortcomings of this approach and asking for their help, okay? When I've been in this type of role before and I've said, look, they're trying to standardize certain things and a team like that doesn't make sense, if it's a real problem and it's like poison that we can't all drink together, I'm just keeping it real with you now, I'll be like, okay, the what, so what, now what? What kind of empirical data can you help me serve up to push back with this and what options can we offer? Okay, if it's something that we really can't handle. If it's other things that are logistical and it's to do with bureaucracy and process and there's a small overhead, but it allows us to go with the flow and not be disturbed too much, then what do you think? Can we do that? So having that openness with the team and going to the team and asking what we can do, and using the Scorsese mentality, the film producer of, you do 2 films for the status quo and 1 film for yourself. In other words, there are some things that we need to entertain because we're working at scale and there's a load of political bullshit that we have to handle. It is what it is. But also we're going to do things whereby we push back, where we really want to take actions and inject certain methods because there's going to be genuine benefit and value for the customer. Okay. So from a principle point of view, this is how I've dealt with this situation, whereby you're in an Agile center of excellence. It is what it is. You don't have the reach or the gravitas to change the situation. So what, now what? Bring that mentality to the team. Ask them for the data. Ask them for the impact of the uniformity and the standardization. Where does that create a problem? Okay. Manage their expectations. When we bring these things forward, we're not always going to win every single discussion about why we need to be more unique with the way that we work versus why it may make sense to use a standardized approach in that head of Agile's eyes. Also try and bring together the communities, or whether it's chapters or guilds. There are going to be other Agile coaches and Scrum Masters who are part of a large transformation, and talk to them about, how is standardization or uniformity or things that are being pushed down from the Agile Center of Excellence hurting us as a team. It could be from a point of morale, or it could be a point of creating waste, and it's actually affecting our throughput and the impact that we can create for customers. Okay, so these are the buttons and the levers that I'd press and pull upon, because we're not living in a perfect world. And the Agile Center of Excellence is something being used in a well-intended way by many organizations, because, as I say, it creates this feeling of control, order, efficiency, when there are things we can standardize. But, when we're talking about transformations and teams and knowledge work, we're dealing with complexity. We're not, on a manufacturing line where we're producing the same product or the same service over and over again with no variation. And we're also dealing with people. So, they're not robots, and rolling out the same things over and over again is not the way to engage. Okay, I hope that starts to unpack quite, as you can see, quite a complex discussion on the approach organizations take to rolling out their Agile transformations. It'll be great to get your thoughts. I'll be doing another video clip based on a coaching conversation that I would have, and I have had with, say, an executive, to try to discourage them from setting up an Agile Center of Excellence. Thanks for watching. Have a great Friday.